Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our 19th class of this advanced English course. Can you hear me?
Yes, teacher. Good evening.
Good evening, Mercedes. Good evening,
It
Joanny.
is me, teacher.
Wow, who would have thought that this week would come so fast? Okay, guys, we are at the end of the course. This is our last week of the course, and on Wednesday, we will have our last class. So we are going to try to see the themes that I left on Wednesday, and I'm going to give you an overview of the conditionals. We won't be able to develop or to see the conditionals entirely because we don't have the time for that, and we need a lot of time to explain and to practice because it's easy to mix them up. But I will give you tonight an overview of the conditionals, and we are going to practice only with one of them. This book begins with the first conditional, okay, but I will give you more details later. So this week you don't have uh, a verb review, English idioms review, or phrasal verbs. None of that. The only thing that you have on the platform is a practice, the final practice, that is actually based on this unit number 9. Okay? So let's start with tonight's class so you are able to complete successfully your last practice. Okay, so in our previous class, we were talking about time, right? We were talking about time. And our first homework is this conversation. That's a thing of the past. So because we only have now Mercedes and Joanny, so Mercedes and Joanny are going to be reading this. So Mercedes is going to be
Okay.
Tom, and Joanny is going to read Mia's part.
Okay.
Okay. I hardly recognize our old neighbor. A few years ago, there were just houses around here.
I know. They're building a lot of new apartments. The whole neighborhood's different.
Remember the little burger restaurant we used to go to after school, Hamburger Haven?
Of course. Now it's another office tower, and I heard they're tearing down our high school.
As continue there.
Yeah. Hold on. I lost. Okay, they're going to buy a shopping mall.
That's such a shame. Pretty soon the neighborhood will just be a bunch of malls, and maybe there won't be any schools anymore.
Probably not. Kids will study from their computers anywhere they want.
So they won't hang out with their friends after school. That's too bad. I enjoyed meeting our friends at that burger place after class.
Seriously? That's a thing of the past. Nowadays, kids only meet online.
Okay, well done. Okay, let's continue with Alexander and Sandra. Alexandra, Alexander. Alexander is going to read Tom's part, and Sandra is going to read Mia's part.
Y entonces para usted regresar, tiene que volver a un punto X para volver de allá para acá y volver a la fundación. Sí. Acuerdan, a tal hora nos vemos aquí,
Sandra,
señor.
Sandra,
Yeah.
the computer or the television is too loud. We can hear the program here. Could you please turn the volume down, please?
I yo ya prendí el micrófono. Ajá, ¿por qué no
Okay.
pasa?
It's like a program. You're hearing something, or someone close to you is hearing something, but I don't hear it anymore, so it's okay.
Okay. Hardly recovers our neighborhood. A few years ago, there were just houses around here.
I know. They're building a lot of new apartments. The whole neighbor's different. Neighborhood's different.
Remember the little burger restaurant we used to go to after school? Hamburg, Hamburg, Hamburg Hill.
Of, of school. Now it's another office tower. And I hear they are tearing down our high school. They're going to build a shopping mall.
That's such a shame. Preserve the neighborhood. We just be about of mails,
Malls.
malls, malls, and maybe there won't be any school anymore.
Probably not. Kids will study from their computers anywhere they want.
So they won't have with their friends after school. That's too bad. I enjoy meeting I enjoy meeting old friends at the burger place after class.
Serious? That's the thing of the past. Nowadays, kids only meet online.
Okay, very well. Okay, so let's read this again. So I hardly recognize our old neighborhood. A few years ago, there were just houses around here. I know. They're building a lot of new apartments. The whole neighborhood's different. Remember the little burger restaurant we used to go after school? Hamburger Heaven? Of course. Now it's another office tower. And I hear they're tearing down our high school. Tearing down, a phrasal verb. They're going to build a shopping mall. That's such a shame. Pretty soon the neighborhood will just be a bunch of malls, and maybe there won't be any schools anymore. Probably not. Kids will study from their computers anywhere they want. So they won't hang out with their friends after school? That's too bad. I enjoyed meeting our friends at that burger place after class. Seriously? That's a thing of the past. Nowadays, kids only meet online. Okay, interesting description about the future. Okay, when this book was written, we were nowhere near that, and now we're almost at that point where the majority of the gathering people do is online. Well, here in DR, we still meet in person, but in other countries, this is a reality. People normally exchange information or share information through social media. People spend more time in their houses than outside, as we used to do when we were younger. Okay, so let's continue with our first homework of the night. Complete the sentences in column A with appropriate information from column B. Then compare with a partner. Okay, so let's see. In the early 1990s, what would be the appropriate information in the early 1990s? Tell me, Sandra.
D. The pollution is becoming a serious problem.
G. Mm.
No, D. Few people had cell
Yes,
phone.
few people had cell phones. That's a reality. In the early 1990s, only rich, rich people had cell phones because it was too expensive. Okay, it was too expensive. Okay, let's continue with number two. Before the airplane, Mercedes.
Later age, ocean liners were the only way to travel across the Atlantic.
Yes, ocean liners were the only way to travel across the Atlantic. Number three, before there were supermarkets, Giovanni.
Letter E. Um, People used to shop at small grocery stores.
Yes, people used to shop at small grocery stores. Number four, in many companies these days, Mercedes.
Letter F. Women still reside. How is the pronunciation?
Receive,
Reside.
receive.
Receive. Women still
Women,
receive
women,
lower.
plural.
We women still receive lower salaries than men.
Okay, women. Remember, when you see an E is women, when you see an A is woman. So women is plural. Women still receive lower salaries than men. Okay, number five. In most big cities nowadays, tell me, Mercedes.
Let it be. Pollution is becoming a serious
Yes,
problem.
pollution is becoming a serious problem. Number six. In many schools today, Giovanni,
Students have their own tablets.
tablets. Yes, tablets. Students have their own tablets. Number seven. In the next 100 years, Sandra.
Letter C. There will probably be sitting in space. Series in
Cities in
space.
space.
Yes,
Yes,
space.
there will probably be cities in space. Okay. And the last one, sometime in the near future, the last one is letter G, right? Tell me, Johnny.
Yes, later E. Doctors might find a cure for the common cold.
Doctors. Yeah, a
Doctors.
doctors. Doctors might find a cure for the common cold. I don't think so. I don't think that we will ever find a cure for the common cold because it varies too much.
Teacher, maybe we gonna live in the moon.
I don't think that that's going to happen either. I mean, let's be realistic. That's impossible. But, when it comes to the common cold, it's a virus. And the problem is that every time you have the flu, it's a different virus. Okay? So we can't forecast
Yes.
the next change in the ADN of of a virus. That's the problem. So we have to live with that. And at the end, the problem is not the virus, it's our immune defenses. So if our immune system wasn't stronger, we didn't have any problem with the virus. Okay? But because our immune system is weak, we have problem with the common cold. Many people spend a year without any common cold. Why? Because their immune system is strong. Other people experience common cold um, every other week, every other month, because their immune system is weak. So at the end, it's not the virus the problem, it's the host. We are the problem. We should be stronger. Okay, let's continue. Let's continue. Let's not dive into medicine. I get carried away. Complete this passage with the verbs in the box. Use the past, present, or future tense. Okay, so let's see this. Let's see if you get to identify the proper tense. This is easy, but it has its tricks. In many countries nowadays, food shopping takes very little time. In the past, a clear reference to the past, obviously. In the past, people used to go to a different shop for each type of item. For example, you, blank space, meet at the butcher's shop and fish at the, sorry, you, blank space, meet at a butcher's shop and fish at a fish market. What would be the correct verb here and what is the tense? Tell me, Johnny.
I have, for example, you have had to buy meat at a butcher shop and fish at the eso mismo, and a fruit. mm, I just
Just
one
one,
t-shirt,
just
right?
one.
Okay, well, but my answer is you had to buy.
You had to buy. Okay. Okay. Someone else have a different answer? Tell me, Alexander.
Uh, for me, is for example, you bought B O U G
The
H T.
past of buy,
You
right?
yes,
Okay.
de comprar, de compra.
Okay, so the correct answer is actually that one. For example, you bought, because we're still talking about the past. If we see the context, the idea is in many countries nowadays, food shopping takes very little time. In the past, we're talking about the past, people used to go to a different shop for each type of item. For example, this example is about the past, and we can see it in the sentence you bought meat at a butcher's shop and fish at a fish market. So we are describing here the reality of the past, where you have to go to different places to buy different things. Meat at the butcher's shop and fish at the fish market. Okay? So we have to identify that we're still talking about the past. Let's continue. A fruit market, blank space, fruits and vegetables. What would be the answer? Tell me, Sandra. Sandra, your microphone is off. Still off. Sandra, your microphone is still off. Okay, Sandra. Sandra, if you can hear us.
Okay. All right. I forget. So it's a fruit market. So fruit and vegetable.
Okay, vegetables. Okay, so again, this is correct because we're still talking about the past. So here we have an
Yeah.
example. You bought meat at butcher's shop and fish at a fish market. A fruit market sold fruits and vegetables. Okay, so the answer is the past tense of sell, which is sold. Okay, let's continue. For dry goods like rice or beans, you blank space go to the grocery stores. Tell me, Giovanni.
Oh my God, I don't want to talk, but I put this. You had you had to go to the grocery store. Is correct?
Yes, it is correct.
Okay.
For dry goods like rice or beans, you had to go to grocery stores. Okay? So until here, we have been talking about the past. A parenthesis. Who knows the meaning of this? Goods, dry goods. What is the meaning of goods in Spanish? Not good, which is an adjective. Goods, which is not an adjective. If I say, I sell goods, what does that mean? Goods and services. What does that mean? Good, goods. Tell me, Mercedes.
Es como bienes, como, qué sé yo, algo así como mercancía, no sé, bienes, no sé, algo así.
Así es, usted está en lo correcto. Cuando en inglés, especialmente en inglés británico, eso me llamaba mucho la atención, me llamó mucho la atención en su momento, cuando yo veía que, especialmente en los audios, goods and services, y yo, goods and services, ¿cómo goods? ¿Qué es eso? Bueno, como bien dice Mercedes, los goods son productos, inmuebles, cosas tangibles. Goods. ¿Ok? No confundir con good. Muy bien, seguimos entonces con the next sentence. Today, the supermarket or superstore, blank space, all these things. Tell me, Giovanni.
Sells the supermarket or superstore sells all these
Okay,
things.
today the supermarket or superstore sells all these things. Excellent. We can see that we're talking about today. So we are in the present simple. Once every week or two, people blank space in their cars to these huge stores to buy everything. Not only food, but also clothes, electronic goods again, furniture, and medicine. What is the answer for this one? Once every week or two, people what? Tell me, Alexander.
One every week or two people drive
Drive. Excellent.
drive.
Drive. Very well.
Yeah.
And now let's change and talk about the future. But in the future, the way we shop, blank space again. Tell me, Alexander.
But in the future, the way we shop will change again.
Yes. But in the future, the way we shop will change again. And here we have an interesting twist because we're talking here about the future, but then we have another reference to today. Nowadays, people, blank space, a lot of their shopping online. Tell me, Sandra.
And nowadays, people do a lot of their shopping online.
Yes, people do a lot of their shopping online. You see, we have to pay attention to the cues in the past, today, in the future, again nowadays, soon, again a change. Maybe no one blank space home to go shopping. Tell me, Johnny.
Um, so maybe no one will leave home to go shopping.
Yes, soon. Soon is a reference of the future. Pronto. It's not present, it's future. And here we have maybe. Remember the class that we had like 2 weeks ago? When we have maybe and we are talking about the future, we have to use will, never going to. So soon, maybe, no one will leave home to go shopping. Everyone, blank space, their computers to order everything online. What is the answer for the last one? Tell me, Sandra.
Will everyone will use their computer to the order everything online?
Everyone will use their computers to order everything online. Easy peasy, guys. So what is our take from this exercise? We have to be careful when we switch in when we switch from one tense to the other. Okay, we have to be careful with the structures, with the tense of the verbs. We have to be careful with the cues, with the phrases, because if we are talking about the past, we have to be consistent. If we are talking about the present, we have to be consistent. And if we're talking about the future, again, we have to be consistent. Okay, let's continue. Choose the correct responses. When did people travel by horse and carriage? In the next few years, about 100 years ago, these days. Tell me, Sandra.
About 100 years
About
ago.
100 years ago. Number two, excellent. When might doctors find a cure for the flu? Nowadays, in the next 50 years, a few years ago. Tell me, Giovanni.
In the next 50
In the next
years.
50 years. Excellent. Number three, when did the first man go to the moon? Sometime in the future. Today, about 50 years ago. Tell me, Mercedes.
About 15 years ago.
50. 50. Yeah,
50.
50. It sounded like 15. 50. Okay. About 50 years ago, hold on. And number four, when is everyone going to buy everything online? In the past, right now, soon. Tell me, Giovanni.
Mm, wait. The last one,
The
teacher,
last one,
or
yes, number
number?
four.
Okay. I have soon.
Yes, that's right. Soon. We still don't do it. We buy many things online, but not everything. But maybe in the future we will buy everything online and we won't go to the mall anymore. Maybe, maybe. Okay, complete the sentences. Use the words given and ideas from the pictures. Okay, so these days people go to the beach for vacation. In the future, they might go to space for vacation. Okay, who can tell me, who can read number two? In the past, blank space, nowadays. Tell me, Sandra.
Well, as they say, in the past, people used it to the collect city. Nowadays, people listen to the music online.
Okay, in the past, people used to collect CDs. That's a way. Okay, that's good. You can also say in the past, people collected CDs. Also true. Nowadays, people listen to music online. That's correct. Well done, Sandra. Let's continue with number three. A few years ago, blank space. Today, blank space. Tell me, Johnny.
Number three.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. A few years ago, people use desktop computers. Today, people
Yes.
use tablets.
Tablets. Muy bien. So a few years ago, people used, in the past, a few years ago, people used desktop computers. And today, people use tablets. Mercedes, number four, 50 years ago, these days.
I'm not sure, but 50 years ago, people wore business suits, and here's they wear casual clothes.
Well done, Mercedes. Excellent. 50 years ago, people wore the past tense of wear. People wore business suits. These days, people wear casual clothes. Casual. Or they wear casual clothes. The last one, number 5. Nowadays, blank space. Sometime in the future. Tell me, Sandra.
Nowadays, people drive our car. And sometime in the future, people will use cars that drive themselves.
Okay.
Themselves.
Themselves, yes. Okay. We can say the last part in a shorter way. Okay, so nowadays people drive their own cars. That's perfect. Sometime in the future, cars will drive themselves. Is the same idea or shorter?
Okay.
Okay. But your idea was correct. Okay. Okay, we're just playing with the future, with the present, with the past. Okay, let's work with our listening. On the other side of the world, listen to Katie talk to her grandfather about an upcoming trip. Check the 3 concerns her grandfather has about the trip. Number 1, language or transportation. What is the concern her grandfather has about the trip? Tell me, Johnny.
Teacher, I think that is transportation.
Okay, transportation. Okay. Here we have 1, 2, and 3, but I have meeting people. Okay. So Giovanni says transportation. Somebody else has a different idea.
I think that is transportation because you say that today the people used to travel and use to travel and fly into another country. That's why I say that is transportation.
Okay, but in the case of transportation, they talk about not transportation per se, but about the cost of the transportation.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
the emphasis is not about the transportation as a means, but the cost of transportation. In that case, it's money.
Okay.
So we have money. What is the other concern that the grandpa has besides money? We have 2 more concerns that he has. Nobody else? Tell me, Sandra.
The grandpa says the flying is expensive. Flying to Tokyo
Yes,
is expensive.
that is the money problem.
And ajá. Y Katy, Cata, ve, cógeme el teléfono. Katy say, eh, ¿cómo dice? One day the flying isn't expensive.
Okay.
Ah, pero ella mami te llaman.
What is the other concern besides money? The grandpa has other concerns besides money. What is the other concern? You know what is a concern, right? I have a concern, una preocupación, a concern. Okay, guys, if for some reason you couldn't listen to the audio, I will leave the audio again for our next class, for our final class. because you have to listen to the audio. Okay, you have to listen to the audio.
Teacher, I listen, but this is so confused, this listening, because I did, but I did wrong. You see?
It's very confused.
Yes, it's very confused. I'm just, I think that I did bad. I did wrong. Really.
It's okay. It's okay.
The
Tell me, Sandra.
the grandpa meeting también le dijo como que era difícil conocer gente. Entonces Katy le dice,
That in this
have
day is like,
two group, there are people in the USA who, ¿cómo le dice? O sea, que ella buscó por internet dos grupos de personas también americanas que están en Tokio y se comunican.
Okay.
yes. In this part, she say that is for her is easy. So it will be easy to her to make friends. So it's
Yes,
too
yes.
confused. Then the grandfather say that
Okay.
the grandmother doesn't like to the Japanese food because she say that one day if you want, I don't know, something like that, you can come here.
You're doing a great job. I don't know why
Yes.
you desist. You're doing a great job. It's okay. Okay, so here we have, I'm gonna help you, okay? But you have to listen to the audio. Okay, so we have a money problem, a meeting people problem that Sandra said, and a communication problem. So money, meeting people, communication. These are the three concerns that the grandpa has about Kathy upcoming trip. And Kathy's response to each of these are the following. Meeting people, she said, I've already found groups online, as Sandra said, so it will be easy to make friends. That's Katie's response to the meeting people concern. Number two, communication. Katie's response to communication was, we can talk and see each other with video calls. And number three is the money. Katie's response is that traveling and flying aren't as expensive nowadays. That's it. I know that particular audio can be tricky, complicated maybe, but that's part of the process, guys. We have never in this course here one of the audios that we use in the academy. In the academy, we use audios that are pretty much difficult than the ones we hear here, because here we listen to audios that are from the book, but in the academy, we use audios from real life situations with a lot of background noise. So it is hard to catch the idea. And the majority of those audios that we use in the academy are from British people. So it's even harder to get the idea. And they speak really, really fast. So this challenge, the idea is that you can take it, that you can take this challenge and overcome the challenge, that you can understand this audio. Maybe you can listen it now again. Now that you have the answers, you can listen to it again as many times as you need to until you get it. Okay, that will give you a new ability, a new skill, a new listening skill. Okay, to understand difficult formats. Okay, guys, so now I'm going to explain our last class. So I decided to jump to here, to unit number 9. It was because of this. Here you have conditionals. Conditionals. So, okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to give you an overview of all the conditionals. But then I'm going to stop in the only conditional we are going to work with. Okay, so don't be scared about the topics and the rules. Just listen, okay? Just listen. Then, when we get to the only conditional that we are actually going to study, then you can ask questions about that and pay attention, okay? Por si acaso, vamos a hacer un overview de todas las condicionales. No van para el examen, nada, nada. Solamente vamos a tener para el examen una sola condicional, que es la que aparece aquí en el libro, la primera, que es la primera condicional, valga la redundancia. Pero yo quiero que ustedes vean, tengan una visión general de todas las condicionales. Simplemente síganme la corriente, prestan atención para que vean que existen. Eso se queda ahí en su mente y más adelante usted puede desglosarla mucho más. Cada una de ellas. En el programa de la academia se van a desglosar todas, porque ahí necesitamos hacerlo sí o sí. Ok, so, conditionals. Conditionals. Okay, so entering the multiverse, the conditional engine. Conditionals are sentences built on if. They are logical machines demonstrating cause-result. If significa sí en español, pero es el sí condicional. Si tú te vas, apago el televisor. Si tú me pagas, te doy el carro. Sí, es ese sí de condición, hipotético. If this happens, then this result happens. We have the zero conditional, which is normally for the laws of physics. Usage. Usage means uso. Scientific facts, general truths, things that are always true. The equation, the structure is if plus present plus present. For example, if you heat water, it boils. Here we have the present tense. If people eat too much, they gain weight. So this is not something that is this is not subject to a probability. This is something that always happens. If you heat water, it boils. Si tú calientas el agua, hierve. Si la gente come mucho, engorda. This always happen. Esto siempre pasa. Zero conditional. First conditional, which is the conditional that we are going to study tonight. First conditional is the domino effect. Usage, real situations, and possible future results. ¿Ok? Situaciones reales, resultados futuros posibles. Esta es la única que va a estar en el examen porque es la única que está en esta unidad. For example, if you get a job, you will have money. If you get a job, you will buy things. If you get a job, you may not save. ¿Ok? Son posibilidades. ¿Ok? If you get a job, you will have money, you will buy things, you may not save. So in the case of the first conditional, we use if plus present, and the result is with will or may or might. As you can see, all of these are modal verbs that we use for future situations. Remember that might is a modal verb about a future possibility. It's more specific than will about possibility. Okay? So, the structure is if plus present, and the result is with will, may, might. Algo característico, chicos, de las condicionales es que siempre van a tener el if, todas. Y dependiendo del tipo de condicional que sea, está la 0, la 1, la 12, la 3 y las mixtas, siempre uno sabe cuándo es una condicional porque siempre, dependiendo de la condicional, siempre va a llevar la misma estructura en la oración. En el caso de la condicional número 0, si se dieron cuenta es if present simple más present simple, lo que significa que va a tener el if. La primera cláusula estará en presente simple, la segunda cláusula estará en presente simple. Si yo caliento el agua, hierve. If I heat water, it boils. Ambas oraciones están en presente simple. En el caso de la primera condicional, que es con la que vamos a trabajar, normalmente es para hablar de algo que podría suceder. Si tú haces esto, podría pasar aquello. La estructura es if, presente simple, will. En el libro lo complican un poco porque le ponen el will, el may, el might. Sí son posibles. Normalmente yo me suelo enfocar cuando entramos en profundidad con esto, con el will nada más, para que se les grabe. ¿Ok? Pero bueno, tenemos aquí will, may, and might. ¿Ok? So, if, presente simple, will, may, and might. Lo que significa eso es que después de la cláusula en presente simple, la cláusula del resultado va a ser con will, va a ser con may o va a ser con might. Igual, estamos hablando de una consecuencia posible. ¿Ok? For example, if I get a job, if I get a job, if, presente simple, if I get a job, I will pay you. Okay? If I get a job, I might pay you. If I get a job, I may pay you. Okay? Si se fijan, si consigo un trabajo, te pagaría o podría pagarte. Okay? Entonces, if, presente simple, el resultado está en usando will, might o may. Ok. So, ahora voy a seguir explicando la segunda solamente para que vean todas las, ¿verdad? Que hay. Second conditional, the parallel universe. We use the second conditional for unreal hypothetical present. Imaginary situations that are not real now. We normally construct this using if with the past simple and the result with would. For example, if I had more money, I would travel. Esta parte, por ejemplo, que es la condicional número 2, la utilizamos para hablar acerca de situaciones hipotéticas del presente. Aquí es donde la cosa se pone interesante. Porque mientras que la condicional número 0 habla de hechos científicos, cosas que siempre son, la condicional número 1 de cosas que podrían pasar, la condicional 2 y 3 entramos en el mundo de lo hipotético. Y lo necesitamos. Porque cuando usted dice en español, oye, si yo tuviera más dinero, viajara. Oye, si yo tuviese más dinero, yo viajaría. Si yo me sacara la loto, le compraría un carro a mami. ¿Cómo yo digo eso en inglés? Para eso necesito la segunda condicional, que es if, el pasado y el resultado, que viene siempre con would. If I had more money, I would travel. Si se fijan, estamos hablando de una situación del momento, porque yo estoy diciendo que si tuviese, haría. Entonces es una situación hipotética del momento. Si tuviese más dinero, yo viajaría. Si me sacara la lotería, le compraría un carro a mami. Si mañana gana el PLD, me voy del país. ¿Verdad? Algo. El asunto es que una situación en pasado simple, que es la primera cláusula, eso fue no intencional. Y tal vez lo tengo muy, ¿verdad? En el subconsciente eso. Y el resultado viene con el would. ¿Ok? Es simplemente para que tengan una idea. Y luego tenemos the third conditional, the severed branch. Este es totalmente diferente. The unreal past. Situations that did not happen. Regret, criticism. Utilizamos la tercera condicional para cosas que no ocurrieron, pero que nos hubiese gustado que fuesen diferentes. ¿Ok? La segunda es para cosas que quisiéramos que fueran diferentes ahora. No lo son, pero quisiéramos. En el caso de la tercera condicional, son cosas que nos hubiesen gustado que fuesen, pero no fueron. Por ejemplo, bueno, en el caso de esta se estructura con el if, el pasado participio el, el presente perfecto, perdón, no, con el pasado perfecto, perdón, se crea con el pasado perfecto, if plus pasado perfecto más would have, que es los verbos modales en su forma de cuando utilizan el pasado participio. No hemos visto ninguno de estos dos temas, ¿ok? Así que no lo busquen porque no lo hemos visto. Es simplemente para que vean esta, porque la van a escuchar, la han escuchado ya, esta estructura en películas. If I had studied, I would have passed. Si yo hubiese estudiado, hubiera pasado. Evidentemente, no estudiaste y por lo tanto no pasaste, ¿verdad? Entonces, estamos hablando de algo que no sucedió, que te hubiese gustado que fuera diferente, pero evidentemente no lo puedes cambiar porque ya sucedió. Entonces, la tercera condicional me permite estructurar esas oraciones. Si yo, en el caso de la segunda, if they had left earlier, they would have arrived on time. Si hubieran salido más temprano, hubiesen llegado a tiempo. Evidentemente, ni salieron más temprano, ni llegaron a tiempo. Pero es lo que hubiese sucedido, hipotéticamente. Entonces, la idea es, chicos, que tengan idea de eso. No les voy a explicar los mixed conditionals porque se le va a enredar la cabulla, como decimos aquí, porque mezcla la segunda y la tercera. Pero existen unos mixed conditionals que son unas estructuras más avanzadas todavía para hablar de otras realidades, ¿ok? La idea es que sepan que existen, estas condicionales existen y que usted las necesita aprender, necesitas manejarlas si quiere decir cosas como las que acabamos de decir, que decimos en el día a día. Dicho eso, volvamos a la que nos corresponde, que es la 1. Entonces, aquí tenemos situación posible, está en presente simple. Fíjense que todas las oraciones están en presente simple. If you get a high paying job, if you have more cash to spend, if you can buy anything you want, if you don't save your money, if you have to get a weekend job, todas son en presente simple. La consecuencia o resultado, todas están con future. En este caso, will, may or might. Cualquiera de los tres funciona. Entonces vamos a ver las completas. If you get a high paying job, you'll have more cash to spend. Si consigues un trabajo que te pague más, tendrás más dinero para gastar. If you have more cash to spend, you'll be able to buy anything you want. Si tuvieras más dinero para gastar, serías capaz de comprar todo lo que quisieras. If you can buy anything you won't save your money. Si pudieras comprar todo lo que quisieras, no ahorrarías dinero. If you don't save your money, you may have to get a weekend job. Si no guardas tu dinero, posiblemente tengas que conseguirte un trabajo de los fines de semana. If you have to get a weekend job, you might not have any free time. Y si tienes que conseguirte un trabajo de fin de semana, posiblemente no tengas tiempo libre. Eso es una condicional. Miren la cláusula en presente, el if, presente simple, y la consecuencia en futuro. ¿Se entendió eso? Le di ahí un poco al Spanish porque no lo vamos a ver todas, entonces va a ser más difícil captar la número 1. Ok. Muy bien. Si no hay ninguna duda, chicos, ese era el tema por el que saltamos a la unidad número 9. Bien, with that being said, let me leave you your last homework. This is the first one. Here you have to match the if clauses in column A with the appropriate consequences from column B. So you have to choose from here the if clauses. Se le llama if clauses a la cláusula que viene conectada con el if, que siempre es la misma, con la consecuencia ideal para cada cláusula. Number 2, collocations. Found phrases from the list that usually go with each verb. You have to find which of these expressions normally goes with which of these verbs. Continue. Choose the correct responses. What if I get in shape this summer? You have to choose the correct response based on what we have studied so far. Okay, again, which words go with which verbs? Complete the chart. Here you have to choose which expressions, which words normally go with which verbs. Remember that this is important because we normally don't know how to pair some words in English, and we need to know how to pair them in order to sound native. Okay? Then, after that, write sentences with if. Use some of the words in part A. Ok, luego de que hayamos identificado con cuáles de estos verbos van estas palabras, vamos a construir oraciones utilizando if en la primera condicional. Por ejemplo, if I feel energetic, I might go for a walk. For example, vamos a ver con married. If I get married, I will have kids. Por decir algo. If I get in time, I might buy you a pizza. Easy peasy, guys. Es para que practiquen únicamente. Ok, vamos a ver. Ok. Esto es importante que lo conozcan. Déjenme ver. Ok. Miren esto. Complete these sentences with your own information. Add a comma where necessary. Se los voy a mencionar, pero no vamos a trabajar con eso, simplemente para que sepan. Cuando se está trabajando con las condicionales, hay una coma siempre, ¿verdad? Cuando iniciamos con la condicional, con la cláusula if, que es la cláusula principal, if I get married, for example, if I get married, coma, I will have kids. Siempre que iniciamos con la cláusula if, después de que se termine esa primera cláusula, antes de iniciar con el resultado, hay una coma en inglés. Siempre. Ahora bien, esas cláusulas se invierten también. Yo puedo decir, I will have kids if I get married. I will have kids if I get married. ¿Qué yo acabo de hacer? Yo acabo de cambiar de posición las cláusulas. La cláusula if ahora está al final y la cláusula resultado la puse al principio. Sigue siendo la misma primera condicional. La misma. Pero en inglés se cambian. Porque a veces uno quiere hacer énfasis en la consecuencia primero. O en el resultado primero. Ahora bien, cuando eso sucede, no se usa la coma. Por eso ustedes ven que aquí aparece la coma cuando la cláusula es if, pero cuando inicia con el resultado y el if está en el medio, no hay coma. Esto no lo vamos a estresar, no vamos a hacer énfasis en esto, pero es para que sepan que funciona así, ¿ok? Y por último tenemos este ejercicio, rewrite these sentences, find another way to say each sentence using the words given. Ustedes saben cómo es, tenemos que decir eso mismo utilizando las palabras que se encuentran en paréntesis. Y por último, ¿verdad? No nos podemos ir sin dejar un artículo. Bien, este será nuestro último artículo que vamos a leer el próximo miércoles. Vamos a ver, aquí tenemos 1, 2, 3 y 4. Tenemos 4 párrafos. Vamos a ver, con todo el ánimo, ¿quiénes quieren leer en nuestra última clase? ¿Quieren hacer los honores en la última clase? Wow, no todos a la vez, uno a uno. Harrison, muy bien, Harrison. Le vamos a dar el número 1 a Harrison. Sandra, el número 2. Mercedes, el número 3. Necesitamos a alguien para el número 4. ¿Alguien más? ¿Alguien más? Voy a llamar a alguien aquí. Dígame, Joanny. Joanny, ¿no se anima a leer el último párrafo para la próxima clase?
Vale, okay.
Number
Which one?
4.
Let me see, please. Number 4. Okay.
Ok, muy bien.
Okay.
Muy bien. Entonces, muchas gracias, chicos. Entonces, se leen el texto. Aquí tenemos los ejercicios, ¿verdad? Read the article, then answer the questions. Responder estas preguntas. Okay. Who would make the following comments? Choose the correct words from the box. Tenemos aquí estos comentarios, ¿verdad? Y aquí tenemos las opciones. Debemos identificar quién hubiese hecho o quién haría este comentario. Por ejemplo, I'm not going back home because life is better here. ¿Quién de los que está aquí hizo ese comentario? Sencillo, ¿verdad? Y eso es todo, chicos. Eso es todo. Con eso, en nuestra próxima clase, daremos por terminado nuestro curso de inglés completamente. ¿Alguna duda, alguna pregunta, chicos? ¿Todo claro, pues? Bien, si todo está claro, this will be all for tonight. Have a really good night and see you again next Wednesday for our last class. Goodbye, good night.
Good
Bye
night.
bye.
Good night.
Good night.
Good
Bye
night.
bye.